Bye. What's up? My name is Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I typically make bookish content, movie content, and anything else in between because I like to do whatever I want on this channel. Today, we are talking about something that has nothing to do with books and movies. We are going to talk about things I actually enjoyed about 2020. So 2020 was a fucking shit show for everyone. No doubt about that, right? For a lot of people, it was the worst year they've ever experienced. For some people, it wasn't. For me, it was simultaneously a good but also bad year. But rather than focusing on the bad parts, I do want to focus on some good things that happened. I made an outline. I have like a whole alphabet worth of stuff. Alphabet? What the hell is that? Alphabet worth of stuff to talk about. So I'm just going to go in the order that I think these things happened, like give or take from January to December, and let's just get started. So the first fun thing I did in January 2020 was treated myself. I had just ended my job at Target. I had a seasonal position. I was still waiting for my Disney internship to start. So I treated myself to a musical. I saw Mean Girls. This was the very last musical I saw before everything shut down, which is really sad. But I fairly enjoyed myself with this musical. Of course, it's based off the early 2000s movie. My friend said this wasn't that funny. She didn't really enjoy it, so I went in with low expectations. I thought it was hilarious. I really enjoyed myself. I went by myself. I didn't have anyone to go with, which oddly freeing experience when you go to musicals by yourself. This is not the first time I've done that, but it was a good time, and now the songs are all in my musicals I've seen playlist. 2020 was also the first time I went to movie theaters by myself. There's like this weird thing where people have a fear of going to a movie, like just going out by themselves. For a movie, for example, when you go to the theaters, you feel the need to bring someone, which, why do we feel that need when you're not even talking to them anyway? The first time I did that was in January, and then I did it twice in February. And you know what? They say once you see a movie by yourself, it is an oddly freeing experience, and that's how you want to do it for the rest of time. And I feel that. Like, I felt freed, and now I can't imagine going to the movies with friends anymore. I enjoyed seeing movies by myself. The three movies I saw by myself were The Rise of Skywalker, 1917, and Jojo Rabbit. And it was nice because at least with 1917 and Jojo Rabbit, no one had to see me cry in both those movies. Rise of Skywalker, I kind of want to share my opinions with someone, but at the same time I was glad that no one was there to share opinions with because it's just such an iffy movie, and it's a very controversial movie in the Star Wars fandom. But I feel freed, and like I can't wait for the local movie theater to open back up again so I can go see a movie. I want to see the Demon Slayer movie. Where the fuck is it? This is the absolute best thing I did in 2020. Yes, it happened very early in the year, but my internship at Disney. I worked at Disney World. I was part of the Disney College program. My name tag's not in this room. I did keep my name tag. It's on my backpack in another room. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. How many people could say they worked at Disney World? I was quick service, food and beverage. I worked in the Africa Pavilion over at Animal Kingdom. I was part of like Harambe Market and all like the fruit stands and all that. Yeah, and there were days where we had shitty guests, but then there were days where I just felt great. I don't know, now I could say I worked at Disney World. It's one of those moments where like in the moment you don't realize how much fun you're having until it's over, and then you look back on it and it's like, damn, that was actually a good job. I made some very close friends while I was there. Yeah, my program only lasted a month and a half due to COVID. They laid us all off. But like my roommates, I still talk to them like they're family. It's weird. Like I was only there for a month and a half, but I feel like me and my roommates have been friends for years. Avatar: The Last Airbender brought us together again, which I will get to that. I don't know, like I miss my job, but I also miss being able to go into one of the most expensive places in the country for free. Like when you work at Disney World, you get to go to the parks for free, and that was a good time. We spent a lot of time in Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot. Hollywood Studios I only went to once, and that's because or cast members I should say, we were blocked out. So we couldn't go into Hollywood Studios except for one time because we got a cast preview for the new Mickey Mouse ride, which was a blast. I could go on and on about how much I loved working there, but like this video will be hours long. Do I like how they handled COVID and how they treated us? No. I could also make an hour-long video about how much I hate that situation, but it's things I enjoyed about 2020, so I won't get into that. Just know this, I will say it's like, I mean, yeah, it's food service, and we like, a lot of us understand how food service can get, but it's still one of the best jobs I've ever had. I just want to see the happily ever after fireworks again. I I want to see like all the gymnastics that I got to hear every once in a while if I was working at the dessert shop. Man, I just miss Disney. We were all bawling our eyes out during the last Happily Ever After. Like, it was sad. It was sad to leave. And I want to go back. I want to go back. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. I don't know. I don't know. So while I was down in Orlando, I did get to go to Universal Studios for the first time. I bought a season pass, or whatever they're called, a pass holder thing, just to use it once, but you know how it goes. We spent a lot of time in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, but we got to eat at the three cauldrons. What the fuck is it called? The 3 broomsticks. Oh my god. We went out on one ride that like really fucked us up, but you're sitting, it's 4 people in this thing, and you're sitting side by side, and it like flips around. You're watching a screen sometimes. It scares the shit out of you. And there's like one turn where we all nearly like puked. So we decided not to go on any more crazy rides. So we visited like the Dr. Seuss land. We saw the Marvel land. We were going to take a day to go to the other places, but then COVID hit, so we couldn't do that. It was fun. I can finally cross off Universal on my bucket list. I finally did it. It was a good time. I'm gonna include my road trip home on this list, like, cause yeah, it was a bittersweet moment. Like, we didn't want to lose our job, but at the same time, like, I went with one of my roommates, so, cause I'm from Chicago, one of my roommates was from Indiana, and we just took the road trip home. We went from Orlando to Nashville, Tennessee in a day, stayed the night, and did the rest of the drive the next day. And we have a lot of stories of walking into the sketchy gas stations. We were taking note of what license plates we saw. We saw almost every state. I think we were missing maybe 10 out of the 50, so I thought was pretty good. We had a few scary moments. At one time, a semi-truck, the rain, it was, because every time I take a road trip, and it's always the ride home, it just pours rain at one point. A semi-truck merged and the water went splashing into her windshield, and that scared the shit out of us. There was another time where a semi-truck almost hit us because she was driving in the left lane, the semi was in the middle, and we were kind of next to the car, or next to the truck, and then the guys tried merging into the lane in front of us, except we were just at a position where he would have knocked us off the road, so she's like slamming on her brakes, honking, and we could like see from the guy's side mirror that he saw what happened and like freaked out, so that scared the shit out of us. But if you don't have any like scary moments on a road trip, was it really a fun road trip? I have so many stories of road trips where like in the moment we are like scared shitless. It's like we are horrified, about to shit our pants, but like when we reminisce, we're always laughing about it. I love road trips. There's something, I've read that stereotype about how Midwesterners love road trips, and that is very, very true. I can sit in the car for as long as I want. It's only an 18-hour drive. It's not that big of a deal. Another thing I enjoyed about 2020 is that I got to co-host a readathon. I co-hosted the Sherlockathon. Opal over at Opal Lesson created this readathon, and then I co-hosted it with her and Olivia Savannah over at Olivia's Catastrophe. I'll link everything down below. So this readathon was Sherlock Holmes based questions, and we had to read books based off these questions as readathon goes. I just never got to host a readathon before, and I thought it was just a fun experience. I met amazing friends along the way, so here we are. Another fun thing about 2020 was Animal Crossing New Horizons dropped just in time for lockdown too. Like, I remember going to the mall to get this, so like March and April seem like a fever dream in my head right now. It's like those times didn't exist. I went to Target, and in a mall that's usually full to capacity, I think me and my dad were one of 5 people in this mall, but it was freaky, it was scary, and I'm like, all I want is a new Switch and Animal Crossing. I don't need to be scared. But then I got Animal Crossing, everything's fine, and I spent hours on it. But now that KK Slider came to my village or island, I'm not spending too much time on it. Like, I'll play with it for like 5 hours in a single day and then not touch it for a month. But in March, April, it was a good time. It was relaxing, and we love to see it. Then I'm also adding my birthday onto this list. It was my 23rd birthday, and my birthday's August 23rd, so it was my golden birthday. A friend and I got some food, and then we spent some time at her house just chilling, and it was really nice because for my 22nd birthday, my birthday's at a really weird time. So like, it's the end of summer, so for a lot of people that's when they go back to school. So for my 22nd birthday, my friends were either away at college, or because we are adults, they had to go work, so I spent the birthday alone, and it was sad. But then my 23rd birthday, I had someone there, and yeah, it was one person, but it was like one really good friend, and I ended it with Animal Crossing. So other things I enjoyed are some TV shows. Avatar: The Last Airbender dropped on Netflix in May, and it consumed my life, and like I said, it brought me and my Disney roommates together, because one of my roommates saw on Facebook that I shared the post about it being uploaded to Netflix, and she's like, oh my god, I love that show too, and then we found out another roommate was obsessed with the show, then we found out another roommate had never seen it, so we created a group chat, and we're like, girl, you got to tell us your thoughts. I talk about that show so much on this channel, so I don't want to go into too major detail. It's my favorite animated show of all time, just one of my favorite TV shows in general. Some of my favorite characters in all of fiction are in that show. My favorite scene in all of animations in that show. I'm obsessed with the music. I have so many headcanons. I'm starting to collect the comics. And yeah, it dropped in May. And here we are in January 2021. And I'm still thinking about it. It's a show for kids. And yet here I am at 23 completely obsessing over it. And it leads to the next show I was obsessing over, which is Legend of Korra, in the same universe. Only me and one of the other roommates have seen it. We're trying to get the other two to watch it. But again, like, it's not as good as Avatar, but I still loved it. The music's superior to Avatar's music. And I said what I fucking said. And like, the animation's stunning. And I went on a rant about this in my TV show thing, so I don't want to get into too much detail about it. But I love this universe so much. I hold it dear to my fucking heart. I'm so glad that 2020 introduced it to me again, because I saw Avatar when I was a kid, and because you just can't find it anywhere, I couldn't rewatch it until it was on Netflix. Another show I got really into was an anime called Demon Slayer. Me and one of my college roommates are obsessed with it. We're still awaiting that movie. Where is the movie? If you've seen it, let me know how you saw it, because I want to watch it so bad. I started movie reactions on this channel, which I never thought I would do, but like, I want to do like book to movie adaptation type of reactions where I read the book first and then watch the movies, and I did this with The Hunger Games. I did some other reactions where I reacted to horror movies I've never seen or Christmas movies I've never seen. And I'm going to get back to the book to movie adaptations with Twilight very soon. Very soon, as in maybe like end of February or early March. I have a whole playlist with all the movies, and you can see that up above. I also did get a new job. It's just babysitting, but it's something, so that's a good thing about 2020, that I didn't end the year unemployed. I went to a pumpkin patch. I have not been to this pumpkin patch since like high school. I used to go all the time as a kid, and then I went once in the 4 years of high school and none at all throughout college. But then my friend, the one who I celebrated my birthday with, hit me up and she's like, hey, do you want to go? And I was like, sure. So we went to the pumpkin patch. It was very, very strictly done when it came to social distancing, so it was nothing to worry about, especially if we wore a mask. And then there were some areas where it was just us, so we didn't necessarily have to wear the mask, so I would like take it off for a picture or two. And it was a good time. Spooky season commenced. Halloween. I spent the time at home. So I actually had 2 jobs during the Halloween season. I had babysitting, and then I worked at Spirit Halloween. It was actually kind of fun working there in the morning because everything was so rushed. I was shocked by the amount of people who buy costumes at the last minute and then want to blame me when something doesn't go their way, but we love you know how customer service goes. We love to see it. But that was fun in the day, and then I had to rush home, get my costume together, and I was Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. I made the Kagune in 72 hours. The mom I babysit for bought the pool noodles for me, and I just worked on it day and night at her house and then at my own home. 3 days. I did it in 3 fucking days. But the costume turned out really well. A lot of people liked it. I just stayed home and handed out candy to trick-or-treaters. And this costume worked well because in order to complete the costume, Kaneki wears a mask. So what perfect year to do it. And people like who've never even heard of the anime were so shocked by this costume, and I got people to like either watch the anime or read the manga. So that was an accomplishment. I started listening to a podcast in 2020 called the Magnus Archives, which is a horror podcast. I have a hard time like paying attention to things that are just listening. Like, I am not an auditory person, so I usually stick away from podcasts and audiobooks. But one of my college friends was begging me to start listening to this, and I did. As of now, I'm about 32 episodes into it. I think it's 200 total. Absolutely obsessed with it. And like I said, it's horror, but each episode is a different story that ends on a cliffhanger. And it leaves you wondering, like, then what's the point? But after a while, once you get into it, they slowly start to connect. And the narrator, who, like, doesn't believe any of these things, is slowly, ever so slowly getting scared. And it's spooky. The music in the beginning puts me, like, triggers my fight or flight response. I'm excited to finish it. One of my friends has finished it. I know another one's halfway through. I'm behind just because I have no time to, like, sit down and listen to it because each episode's, like, 30 minutes long. But if you like horror and you like podcasts or audiobooks, I recommend this I'm listening to it on Spotify, but I'm sure it's anywhere else you could find podcasts. Which leads me to Christmas. It was a very chill year. Me and my parents, I live with my parents, so I spent Christmas Eve with them just watching movies. We watched The Polar Express and The Little Drummer Boy. Christmas Day we usually celebrate with my dad's side of the family, but for obvious reasons we could not do that, especially because my dad has some medical issues, so he is high risk and we're very worried about him during this time. We just spent Christmas at home watching movies. I woke up to my parents watching The Bells of St. Mary's. We opened presents, we had breakfast. I got new headphones, I got some books from friends, I got a new avatar, what are they called? Tapestries? I haven't hung it up yet, but it's going to go in that section. And then at night, me and my dad went to go, my mom had to go to bed early because she had to work early the next day, but me and my dad went to go see Christmas lights. And then we ended the night with It's a Wonderful Life, which we watch every year. I didn't hate Christmas. I was scared I was going to hate Christmas this year because of how different it was, but I didn't. It was really chill and I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed time with my parents. Also, I read my first manga series this year as in 2020, but it was Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. I have never read manga before, and I don't know why I chose this one, but I have absolutely no regrets. This is about a guy named Kaneki who just wants to go on a date, but then the night turns sour because ghouls are running amok here in Tokyo, and they eat humans. A ghoul attacks him, shit happens, he has an organ transplant that turns him into a half ghoul, half human being, and he's trying to come to terms with that throughout this manga. I have so many ships. One's canon, I find out one's canon, not to the sequel series, but it's canon nonetheless, and one is not, which I'm disappointed about, but whatever, I guess. The art style in this, absolutely stunning. The ending had me shook. I almost threw the book across the room, and I love it. I can't wait to get to the anime, but I want to finish reading the sequel series first. As of now, I'm only 3 volumes into it, and it's really fun because Olivia, over at Olivia's Catastrophe, she's watching the anime, and we're like discussing back and forth, like as I'm reading and as she's going. And now I want to get a tattoo on my leg of Kaneki surrounded by the red spider lilies. But I just thought of that idea, so I have to sit on it for a while. I also want Avatar The Last Airbender tattoos. I have 3 in mind. I love these things so much. And I'm glad they came into my life. And then the last good thing about 2020 was that Ally and AJ came out with the explicit version of Potential Breakup Song. And yeah, something minor, but it's gonna make the list anyway because this is what we've been fucking waiting for. It's not a stupid birthday anymore. It's a fucking birthday. It's not their stuff anymore. It's their shit. 10-year-old me was thriving. And that is it for this video. This is kind of like a chit chat one. My throat hurts from talking so much. But I'm dying. Okay. But let me know what you guys liked about 2020, if there's anything to like about, even if it's something simple as just as surviving. Tell me about it down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe, y'all know the drill. And before I start rambling, I'm going to peace out, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao a tutti.